Hi everybody, I'm Joey Paul, I'm an indie author, and this is the booktube video for March. Today I'm going to be talking about finding a proofreader. I've gotten a lot of questions, especially since my last video about finding an editor, so I'm going to answer some of them now. The questions are usually along the lines of, what is a proofreader? Do I need to get one? Where do I find them? What do they do? And isn't an editor enough? So I'm going to go through those one by one and just literally tell you what a proofreader is and how you find one and what to use them for. Number one, what is a proofreader? They usually come in after an editor and they give your book a final read through. They'll be looking for things that are mostly grammatical errors and they'll be trying to make it as clean as possible. It's not the same as an editor. You don't go to a proofreader for a first edit because that's not their job. Their job is to literally proofread. Where the difference between the two is that usually the editor will do things like checking for plot holes and grammar and all the rest of it, but a proofreader is literally just proofing it that one final time before it gets published. Do I need a proofreader? Yes, you do. Sorry, you do. Editors are going to miss things grammatically wise. I've just gone through some edits for one of my books, and while going through the edits, even though there were loads of edits for lots of different reasons, there were a few that my editor missed that I caught when I was doing the read through. So yes, you need a proofreader. There's going to be stuff that you miss, there's going to be stuff that your editor misses, and it's not because neither one of them are any good, it's because that's just how it works. I will do an edit with my editor and then send back corrections and then go through it again and again and again, and after a while it becomes to the point where the editor is reading what she thinks should be there rather than what is actually there, and that's where a proofreader comes in. After we've both basically gotten to the point with the book where we're like, this is as finished as it's going to get, the proofreader comes in and will go over it and say, okay, it's fine, but there's a mistake here and there's a mistake there. So that's what a proofreader is for, and yes, you need that one. It's the best way to make sure that your copy is as clean as possible, and that's what you want. Number three, where do I find them? Pretty much the same places you find editors. So on websites, on social media, through connections. Some people who edit will do proofs as well, but it's generally better to use different ones in my experience. I have had my editor do some proofreading for me, but she also didn't edit the books. So it's good to bring a fresh pair of eyes into it. When approaching them, you can do the same thing that you do with an editor, which is ask for a sample read. You can ask for a sample edit and see how they do. And again, price-wise, you have to decide what's too expensive and what's not too expensive and all of that. And please excuse my cat crying in the background. She is very old and wants attention right now. Number four, what do? They proofread your manuscript. It's literally there in the title. They point out mistakes, usually only grammatical mistakes, though sometimes plot holes do slip through, but that shouldn't happen with a good editor. And they're basically a second tier of corrections to make sure that nothing is missed. They will read through your manuscripts, they will basically read the story and make sure that there's no thans that should be theirs and stuff like that. It shouldn't be as heavy an edit as an editor, and it shouldn't be as time consuming as an editor, so generally they find that they charge less, but that's just my opinion and in my experience. Number five, isn't an editor enough? No. You always want to have another set of eyes, which is why if your editor does do proofreading, it's sometimes better to have a different having a different person come in to do that. But one question I do get asked a lot is should I use an editor or can I self-edit? And I just want to say that you should always use an editor, no matter how good your grammar is, no matter how good you are at spotting plot holes and all the rest of it, because sometimes that part of that editing process is that they aren't you. So they are looking at the book and they're reading it as a reader would because they don't know the story. And while you may sit there thinking, but this scene explains this, this and this, you need to have an editor come in and do that. Self-editing is all very well and good, but it can lead to mistakes, it can lead to problems, and it can actually impact the quality of your book. So in my experience, self-editing is a no-no. Back to being an editor enough? No, generally you do need a proofreading edit, just because you want to be sure that there are no mistakes here, there or anywhere, and you can go from there to make sure that the book is as clean as possible. So those are my answers. Basically, a proofreader is like an editor, but less intense, and it's something that you definitely need for your publishing journey. I use 2 different proofreaders and editors, and I found that they work really well together, and so therefore I have a very good team that works with me. But whatever works for you. So that's all I have time for today. If you want to leave a comment, you can use it down below. You can contact me on Facebook or Goodreads or Tumblr or Twitter. You can pick up my books at Amazon. They're available in ebook and paperback format. And don't forget to check out the Dark Side of Fiction 2017 event, where I will be signing books in October, all the links to which are listed below. And I will see you on the 14th. Bye!